Pastor Rick Cabot got the business end of an alligator. An experience that he feels brought him closer to his maker. And a journey that made him change the way he looked at nature and his faith. To learn more about the natural side of things, I visit Lake Hancock in Central Florida with biologist Lindsay Horde. As a wildlife biologist for Florida's Alligator Management Program, Lindsay is responsible for the health and welfare of more than 1 million alligators in southern Florida.
Lindsay, I appreciate you taking me out here. Now, where exactly are we?
That's my pleasure. This is Lake Hancock, which is in Polk County.
Okay. And Lake Hancock must be a pretty good alligator area. If I was an alligator, I'd want to live here.
It's very good alligator habitat. There's a lot of nutrients here, a lot of rough fish, a lot of things that alligators like to eat. Plus, it has a lot of associated marsh with it, which is nice for nesting and for the juvenile alligators to survive in.
Alligators have been living in Florida since the age of the dinosaurs, more than 65 million years. Today, they are found in the southeastern United States, where they primarily live in freshwater swamps and marshes. They can also be found in rivers, lakes, and smaller bodies of water. The adult males can grow to more than 12 feet long and weigh over half a ton. Despite their size, gators can be extremely quick. On dry land, they can sprint faster than a racehorse. They are fierce predators with incredibly strong crushing power in their jaws. The big males are territorial, but Lindsay doesn't think that this would motivate an attack on a human, even during the springtime when they're mating.
There's no data to support that kind of belief that males are territorial towards people. No reason to suspect that. There aren't any more attacks that time of year than any other time of year.
Would I be right in assuming that an alligator attack on a human being is an unnatural occurrence?
No, I wouldn't say that. It's unusual,
right.
Extremely unusual, but alligators are predators, and occasionally, very rarely, could see a person as a prey item.
But clearly, Rick Cabot was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It's very rare for an alligator under 9 feet to be involved in a human fatality, or even an attack. I would suspect, without knowing anything more, that it was mistaken identity. The gator happened to be on the bottom right there. The kicking feet, just stimulate it to grab it. They didn't know what it was. And once the guy fought it off, it left. It didn't continue the attack, obviously, so it realized, okay, this thing is too big. Let me go on and find something I can handle.
After the attack, it took Pastor Rick 6 months before the wounds in his leg were healed. Today, he still has some minor range of motion problems, but he is well on the road to recovery. Still, there are also some emotional scars that have yet to heal.
I certainly look around a lot more. In fact, I see a lot of gators that aren't there. I'm much more wary than I was, and I do double check.
I asked Pastor Rick if he's willing to help us reconstruct his attack. This recreation will be no surprise. In fact, this time, the setting is a backyard Hollywood swimming pool, and the attacker, a movie star named Digger.
She heard her call. The camera's ready for me.
This 200-pound gator was raised in captivity and has worked with trainer Joe Camp for 15 years.
Just stay in frame. Nice, eh?
Yeah.
Now that the gator's in the water, when we go up there, the most important thing for us now is to make sure that we get the aspect of the animal trainer and the animal the same way that you remember it. So if we check out with the monitor, that camera there is on a pole.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Just like that.
Yeah. So that's what you're looking for. It's the two of you coming up like that.
Yes.
That's great.
Seeing that angle with our eyes, but not through the screen.
Yeah.
That just really... Well, I've tried to explain it to people, and I've never been able to say that's
Like
what
that,
happened.
And
Blood
left,
in the
Peter.
water is very familiar to the...
That's better.
The mix.
Yeah. There's nothing like seeing the animal to bring you back into the frame of mind.
Well, and in the water.
Interestingly, Pastor Rick seems most comforted by watching Joe, the alligator handler, struggle with the beast.
Dave, I was so impressed with that power, seeing this strong gentleman with his feet planted on solid ground, having a hard time handling a gator. It made me realize how lucky I am to be here.
And watching how, man, that big struggled with that gator.
I just have to thank God. I think God's hand was on me in some way.
When we completed filming the reenactments, I asked Pastor Rick if he would be interested in a closer encounter with Digger.
Rick, this is Titus and Joe, our gator handlers.
A pleasure to meet you guys.
It's one thing to observe a trainer struggling with a gator in a swimming pool. It is quite another to actually touch the creature yourself. The last time Rick was this close to a gator, the odds were not in his favor. This time, Rick is in control of the situation, and that control is what we want him to feel.
You know, she's been in captivity most of her life.
Right. Now I can see with the wire, the biggest thing that you're concerned about is a bite. And that's obviously, Rick, where you met the dangerous end of the gator.
I'm amazed at how much the size of this gator approximates the one that did attack me. Is it okay to put my hand on?
We can go on up.
I never was particularly fond of gators. I realize their right and their drive to survive. I know I was in his turf. My priority is certainly for the human, but I do believe that gators should have a habitat and a place that they can be safe.
Although Rick Cabot continues to enjoy his home next to nature's paradise, his wife has made one thing abundantly clear: no more swimming.
Coming up next, a South African surfer survives an attack. Not from just one great white shark, but two great white sharks, hitting him at the same time.
My adrenaline was pumping and I was in such shock.
Is Shannon willing to get back in the water with the fierce predator that attacked him?
Surfers don't like sharks at all. They get totally freaked out about sharks.
We'll find out when we return.